Howdy everybody, this is Steve KM9G, and today we're playing with the PrepComm MMX. This comes in a variety of different flavors, and you can get this to suit a variety of different needs. Real quick, what this thing does is it gives you the ability to do keyboard-to-keyboard CW if you don't know CW. It also gives you the ability to plug in your regular radio and transfer messages back and forth that way. And it gives you the ability to hear CW and see it decoded so that you can learn CW if that's your method of learning. That's actually a method of learning that works really well for me. Total immersion learning, as they call it. And that's how I have gotten to where I am at CW. I'm still not as good as I can be, but with a device like this, you don't need to be. Is this real CW? I don't know that it matters, because what it really is getting you to do is be able to communicate with other hams. And that's what's really important, is getting you on the air and getting you farther down your journey of ham radio. So let's get this thing over on the bench and get it all taken apart and see what it looks like inside, because that is going to be a lot of fun. So this is taken right after the live stream on the Coffee and Ham Radios channel. There is a link in the description down below. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the station here. We've already done the full demo of how it works over there, so if you haven't seen how it works, check that out. But what I want to do now is see what's inside, see what makes this thing tick. That keyboard did not want to come loose. Quality. That's a sign of quality. So a couple of things that we didn't talk about in the show in depth are some of the extra pieces that come in the box. This is a cable assembly to allow you to connect this to your existing transceiver and use all of your high function transceivers features and power in order to get your signal even farther. We were doing very well on QRP. I was making it out to Oregon, the left coast, and down to Texas, the bottom coast, just with the transceiver that's built into this using the DX Commander antenna that's connected up to the top. But I can use these cables in order to use this as a Morse code key and a receive decode solution and transmit solution using my existing radio. In my case, it's an ICOM 7300, and that extends the capabilities of this radio. So that's one of the things that came in the box. The other thing that you get is a microfiber cleaning cloth and a adapter for converting from whatever your power source is over to the DC barrel jack that comes with this. This is the same barrel jack that you will see on the X6100 transceiver or on the ICOM 705 or on a lot of the MFJ equipment. So this is already a pretty standard DC barrel jack connector that's in here. As a result of that, I didn't need to do anything. I just used the one straight up from my IC705 and plugged her right in. You also get a 3D printed stand to correct the angle to make it a little bit more viewable, which doesn't work for doing overhead camera work, so I'm not using it. But fairly straightforward how to use the stands, and there are some instructions there if you need some help with that, and they just clamp right on and clamp right off and you're ready to go. So all of that is taken care of, and there is even a nice little 3D printed cover that will go on top of the radio to protect it while it is in transit. So very well presented, very well packaged. If you saw on the live stream, it was very well packaged in the live stream. Let's do the next most important thing that ham radio operators do, and let's start getting inside and see what is inside of this magical box. All right, 4 screws right off the top, and we're still a little stuck there, but there's 2 more screws on the back, so let's get that. And then the radio comes right out. All right, this is fantastic looking already. So 3D printed case for the bottom panel, and then we've got a nice little sandwich of boards here. The LCD touchscreen is attached directly to the board. We've got the power switch attached to the power leads. So a nice switch there. SMA connector for the antenna. All the different jacks around the outside. We'll go over those in a bit. And this is the 20, 40, 80 meter version of this radio, so you will see the relays and the bandpass filters to enable transmit and receive on there. And these guys just snap right in and snap right out. So let's see how that works. There's one side out, there's the other side out, and they're designed in such a way that you can't really put them in wrong because there's that sleeve in place there. So MMX plugin version 6.5. This is the 80 meter version. So you can see you've got your your relays and your bandpass filter there, and then it's a right angle connector to get you back into the PCB. Very straightforward setup there. Let's plug that back in. Can't get it wrong. Perfect. All right, what else do we have here? Looks like all the guts are one more layer down, so we'll have to go a little tiny bit farther. There's another connector right here that I'm being gentle with. Okay, so single-sided board, no components on the bottom side, and then we are on the main board with the display. It's a Nextion display. It's actually a very good-looking display. We got an ATmega 328p, and right next to it is another ATmega 328p. So dual processors, fantastic. Again, very well constructed. Custom PCB here for this. Is there anything to show underneath of the display? Nope, the display looks like it's just a straight window through. Now we'll get her back together. There we go. Let's make sure it still works. It survived the TO test. All right, so I didn't demonstrate how it works because I wanted this to be the missing link or the bridge between the live stream that we did with Eric from PrepComm. Didn't want to trample over that. If you want to see how this thing works in real time, take a look over at the Coffee and Ham Radio's channel. There will be a link in the description down below for that live stream. Some of the important features of this are that you can buy it with receive only, so no transmitter enabled, and use your home transmitter to transmit with it. Or this is a radio if you buy it with the bandpass filters and so forth installed. You can buy it with just one filter installed and then add extra filters as you decide that you need those extra filters. So you can start out with just 20 meters, which would get you fantastic DX during the day, or you can get 20 and 40, which will get you good daytime and good nighttime propagation. What else can you do with this? You can use this thing to communicate with all your friends, obviously, or you can use this thing to chase all that ham paper that we all like. And that comes down to a personal preference as to whether or not you like to have those kinds of things in the most authentic manner possible, or if you can do it in your own method of authenticity. I think if you got DXCC with this as an example, you would have learned a lot about CW by the time you worked 100 different contacts in different countries, because it's going to take you probably 1,000 or 2,000 contacts to get your DXCC. So there's a big learning curve of just how does CW itself work, let alone how to send and receive code, let alone how to encode and decode. So that's pretty good. And then you can go back and have that fun all over again and do DXCC a second time with a paddle set, and then you can go do it a third time with a straight key. Ham doesn't have to be as exclusive as some people want it to be. There's room for everything in this hobby, and I think there's plenty of room for this. There will be a link in the description down below for the live stream where we did the QSO demos with it and talked with Eric from PrepComm. There will also be a link in the description down below for PrepComm where you can go order one of these things. If that's not enough for you, there's a video right over here I think you'll enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. We'll see you in the next one.